Hi girls, today we're going to be looking at, I'm going to give you a musicology example. Let me just share the screen. Yeah, I'm going to give you a musicology example to hopefully to help you do when you're doing yours. The first thing that we require you to do is to have a summary of what you're doing, and this is the basis of what you use for your musicology. So you put your name, the topic, and the name of the artist or the style that you're representing. One of the first questions you need to ask yourself is, how does your song or your example fit into the topic? What are the musical elements? What have we got here? What stylistic musical elements does your example have that make it sound like, I'm going to do an example of rock music. So what musical elements does it have that make it sound like rock music? And the things to consider are the performing media, which is the instruments, tone colour, and the dynamic and expressive techniques. Also, while you're listening and providing your examples, you need to relate them back to the concepts of music as well. Within your musicology, you also need to have evidence of wider listening. So it's not just this song that you've listened to, but you've listened to other, could be different styles or the same style of songs that also come from the same topic. Always make sure you have your examples ready, and please do not use YouTube. So I've got a little example for you here. Just a brief overview. All right, so my example is, here's my summary sheet. My name's Trace Singleton. The topic is rock music. The artists are the Wrights, and the song is Evie. Now, this song represents rock music, and it has stylistic elements of rock music because of, firstly, the performing media. So in most rock songs, they have electric guitar, whose role is to provide an accompaniment, plus it has a solo as well. They have drums that provide a rock beat in the rhythm. It has a male vocalist who provides the melody, a bass guitarist who provides harmony, and the overall structure of the song is a verse, chorus, instrumental bridge, which again helps it fit into rock music. So if I was going to look at electric guitar, what stylistic features help it fit into rock music? Well, we're going to look at the concept of pitch and how the guitarists use riffs. So let's just listen to this first example. So it's 11 seconds to 21. Let's have a listen. The electric guitar. In my hand. I got myself a cup of tickets to see a rock and roll band. Okay, so the electric guitarist is playing like an answer to the or a response to the singer, which goes da 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 da. It's playing in unison with the bass guitar. The bass guitar is also playing the same riff, but obviously it's a lot lower in pitch. And that riff that the electric guitarist is playing is a syncopated one because it doesn't start on the first beat, it starts on the end beat, and it sounds something like this. I'll do that again. And at the end of it, they have like a little vibrato where they shake it, which is a little technique that a lot of electric guitarists do, and it helps the notes carry a little bit more. So that riff is always played during the verses, and like I said, is mirrored by the bass guitar. It has a distortion type of sound, which gives it a rough and gritty type of tone colour. And that distortion sound is provided by a pedal, a distortion pedal. And how that works is when they press the pedal and the sound wave of the electric guitar goes through, how distortion happens is if you like turn up the volume of an amplifier or on a speaker really loud, too far, it starts getting too loud for the speaker, it starts distorting, it starts getting a bit buzzy and rough. And that's what a distortion pedal does. It gets so the gain becomes too high that the wave, the audio wave, gets clipped and it gets squashed in, and it no longer has a nice normal wave. It becomes a little bit square, and that's where you get that rough type of sound to it. Going back to the pitch of electric guitar, so another technique, and it's something common used in rock music as well, are the use of power chords. So if we were to listen to the chorus, let me see, the chorus is 33. Let's listen to the chorus. Here we go. Okay, so how that works, a power chord is the two notes. So rather than playing a whole chord, it only uses two notes. Okay, that's the sound, and it's playing in time with the singer. Either, okay, it's the same. The bass guitarist is playing the same riff as well, but a power chord, to explain it to you, is we have two notes of the chord, the first and the fifth. So in this case, that first note is a D, and this one is an A, which is the fifth note of the chord of D. So and then it moves to E. Okay, and that's used a lot in rock music. A little bit later on, for the electric guitar, often in lots of rock music, they use a lot of dynamic expressive techniques, especially in the instrumental part, as is the case in this song. And that's where they show off all their technique, and they use techniques like bends, slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. So if we have a listen to the instrumental, and I'll explain a little bit more to you. It's 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so you can hear that quick note at the end. Well, not that I can play that, but they use lots of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And a hammer-on is when you pull off. It allows you to play notes really quickly without moving your hand too much. Slides is when it's you go from one note to another and slides up to the pitch, slides up. It's not from one note. It slides up to the next one. Bends are when we use things like this, and you use double strings bending. You use that a lot in there as well. And they're all little expressive techniques to show off their ability to play the electric guitar. And it's often used in the instrumental, as the case is this. Going now to the next instruments, which are the drums. The drums provide the rhythm, and this is in 4/4 time, and it's a rock beat. It's very loud and a hard sound. Let's have a listen, and then I'll explain to you what a rock beat is. Oh, let's go back here. So we're just listening to the drums. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 and 4 are accented, And in that part too, even the electric guitar comes in on the fourth beat, even with the drums to really emphasize that backbeat. And the backbeat is in a lot of rock music. You hear it from the 1950s, where it's more, you hear that big emphasis on 2 and 4. He tends to play on every beat, but there is still that emphasis that you can hear on the second and the fourth beat, providing that backbeat, and he plays it really hard and loud on the snare and on the kick drum. Okay, and it's really, it drives this song. It has like a driving beat. It's not a soft laid back one. It's very driving. The next thing is vocals. It's male. I'm going to look at the concept of pitch. He has small range, rough in sound and gritty again. He sings a hook line, either. He sings that in unison with some other backup singers, and it's only a couple of notes. That's it. And that hook is also played by the guitar and the bass. They're all playing it at the same time, so it's really emphasizing it. And a little bit later on, his voice gets even rougher in sound in the bridge as he gets high in range, and he's nearly yelling. And that also is often a technique, especially of hard rock music, where the singers tend to have a bit of a gritty sound to their voices as well. So if we have a listen to the bridge, and we'll listen to his voice. Okay. Here we go, we'll listen to his voice. You can hear it sounds really rough and gravelly. So it sounds like he's shouting those top notes. Okay. Like I mentioned before, the bass guitar, its riff in the verse is in unison with the guitar. Obviously, it's a lot lower in pitch. It's a different riff in the chorus, but it matches the electric guitar, so they're playing pretty much one with one another. In terms of wider listening, I'll give you a little bit of background of the song anyway. It was originally sung by Stevie Wright, who was from an Australian band called the Easy Beats, who were very popular in the 1970s. Then in about the 1990s, the supergroup, the Wrights, and they were just some famous people from Jet, Spiderbait, Powderfinger, Grinspoon got together for one of Wave Aid concert to raise money at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and they did a cover of this song, and that's why they're called the Wrights, in honour of Stevie Wright, and it became really popular, this song. Anyway, girls, so I've given you heaps of information there, and like I'm sure I exceeded 5 minutes, but you need to really go into a lot of depth about everything that you talk about. So if you're going to talk about distortion, you have to explain what distortion is, not only how it sounds, but also how's it made? How's distortion made? If you're going to talk about dynamics and expressive techniques and there's bends, you have to show me what a bend is and what does that do to the sound, okay? So you really have to go into a lot of explanation, and you have to really relate it back to your topic. Anyway, have a go at starting your own summary sheet of your song, because it does take time to really listen, pick the parts that you want to talk about, and see how you can relate it back to your topic. Good luck.